I was standing in the rain with two newborn babies in my arms when my husband locked the door and told me to die outside. That's not where the story starts, but it's the image that burns in my mind every single day. Me, soaking wet, bleeding from childbirth just 3 days before, holding my crying twins while the man I loved screamed that we were bad luck, that we had ruined his life. But let me take you back to the beginning, so you understand how love can turn into hate so fast it makes your head spin. My name is Chiamaka, but everyone calls me Chi. I'm not special, or at least I never thought I was special. I grew up in a small village in Enugu State, raised by my grandmother after my mother died when I was 5. My grandmother told me my father was a rich man in Lagos who didn't want anything to do with us. She said he paid her once to keep quiet and never came back. I believed her. Why wouldn't I? I met Emeka when I was 23, selling vegetables in Onitsha market. He was a driver for a small company, always smiling, always respectful. He would buy tomatoes from me every week and make jokes that made me laugh, even on my worst days. Chi, he said one afternoon, his eyes soft and warm. Why does a beautiful girl like you waste time in this market? You should be in school. You should be living a better life. I laughed. School costs money. And who will feed my grandmother if I leave? I will, he said simply. Marry me and I will take care of both of you. I thought he was joking, but he came back the next day with the same question, and the day after that. After 3 months of him asking, I said yes. We had a small wedding. Just grandmother, his 2 friends, and a pastor who charged us 5,000 naira. Emeka rented a single room in Enugu, and we moved in together. It wasn't much, but it was ours. For 2 years, we were happy. Emeka worked hard, driving from morning till night. I sold my vegetables and saved every kobo I could. We had plans, big plans. We would save enough to open a small shop, maybe have children when we were ready. But life doesn't care about your plans. I got pregnant unexpectedly. Emeka was worried about money, but he held me close and said, "We will manage. God will provide." The pregnancy was hard. I was tired all the time, sick every morning. When I went for my first scan at 5 months, the nurse looked at the screen for a long time before she spoke. "Madam, you're having twins?" My heart jumped. Twins, double blessing. But when I got home and told Emeka, his face changed. The smile I loved disappeared like someone had wiped it away with a cloth. Twins? His voice was cold. Chi, how will we feed 2 babies? I can barely afford to feed us now. We will manage, I said, using his own words. God will provide. He didn't say anything else that night. He just turned his back to me and went to sleep. From that day, everything changed. Emeka started coming home late. He stopped touching me. When I tried to talk to him, he would snap at me or ignore me completely. His mother called one day and I heard him on the phone. "Mama, she's pregnant with twins." "Yes, twins. I know. I know it's bad luck. What can I do now?" "The babies are already coming." Bad luck. He called my babies bad luck. I confronted him after the call. "Emeka, twins are a blessing. Why are you listening to these old superstitions?" He looked at me like I was stupid. "Chi, don't you know anything? Twins are a burden. They bring poverty. Everyone knows this. My mother said we will suffer if we keep them." "Keep them?" I grabbed his arm. "These are our children. What do you mean keep them?" He pulled away from me. "I don't know, Chi. I just know we're not ready for this. And I don't want my life to be destroyed because of some bad luck babies." I cried myself to sleep that night. and many nights after that. I gave birth on a rainy Tuesday evening. The labor was brutal, 23 hours of pain that made me think I was going to die. But when I heard my babies cry for the first time, all the pain disappeared. 2 perfect little boys, identical, beautiful. The nurse placed them on my chest, and I felt a love so strong it made my whole body shake. This was it. This was what life was about. These 2 little lives that came from me. Emeka came to the hospital 3 hours after the birth. He didn't hold the babies. He didn't even look at them properly. He just stood by the door and asked the nurse, "When can she come home?" "In 3 days," the nurse said, giving him a strange look. "Your wife just had a difficult delivery. She needs rest." 3 days, he repeated. "Okay." Then he left. I felt something break inside me, but I pushed it down. Maybe he was just scared. Maybe when he held the babies, he would fall in love with them like I did. I was so stupid. We came home on Friday evening. Emeka paid the hospital bill, but he didn't speak to me the whole way home. When we got to our room, he put my bag down and said, "I'm going out." "Emeka, please." I was holding both babies, exhausted and in pain. "Can you help me? I need to feed them and rest." "Call your grandmother," he said, without looking at me. Then he walked out. I managed on my own that night, feeding 2 babies, changing them, trying to sleep in between their crying. My body was screaming in pain, but I had no choice. I was alone. Emeka came back at midnight, drunk. He stumbled into the room, looked at me feeding one of the babies and said, "This is my life now. Stuck in this room with a woman and 2 crying babies. No peace, no money, nothing." "Emeka, please don't talk like this," I begged. "They are just babies. They'll grow. Things will get better." "Better?" He laughed, but it wasn't a real laugh. It was bitter, angry. "Chi, since you got pregnant, my life has been hell. I lost my job last week. Did you know that?" "No, you didn't know because you only care about those babies. I lost my job and now I have 2 more mouths to feed. Tell me how things will get better." I felt cold all over. "You lost your job? When? Why didn't you tell me? What's the point? You're useless now anyway. Just a woman with 2 babies sucking the life out of me." He passed out on the floor that night. I sat on the bed, holding my babies, and cried quietly so I wouldn't wake them. The next morning, Saturday, Emeka's mother came to visit. She didn't knock. She just pushed the door open and walked in with 2 of her church women. "So these are the twins," she said, looking at my babies like they were cockroaches. "Good morning, Mama," I said, trying to be respectful. "Yes, these are your grandsons. Don't you want to hold them?" "Hold them?" She laughed. "Why would I hold bad luck?" "Chi, I warned Emeka about you. I told him you are trouble. Now look what you've done to my son." One of the church women nodded. "Twins are a curse. Everyone knows this. The ancestors are angry." I felt anger rise in my chest, hot and sharp. These babies are not a curse. They are human beings. How can you say such wicked things? Emeka's mother stepped closer to me. "Wicked? You want to see wicked? You have destroyed my son's life. He lost his job because of your bad luck. And now you want to keep these babies here? In his house." "This is my house too," I shouted. "I live here. These are his children." "Not for long," she said coldly. Then she turned to Emeka, who had been standing in the corner the whole time, silent. "Emeka, are you a man or a mouse? Are you going to let this woman destroy you completely?" He didn't answer. His mother grabbed him by the shirt. I said, Are you a man or a mouse? I'm a man, Mama, he said quietly. Then act like one. Get rid of this problem before it's too late. That's when I knew. I knew something terrible was about to happen. I grabbed my babies and held them tight against my chest. Emeka, I said, my voice shaking. Please, don't listen to her. These are your sons. Look at them. Really look at them. He looked at me then, and I saw nothing in his eyes. No love, no pity, nothing. Pack your things, he said. You and those babies need to leave. What? I couldn't breathe. Emeka, this is my home. Where will I go? I don't care. Go back to your grandmother. Go anywhere. But you can't stay here. His mother smiled. Actually smiled. Emeka, please. I fell on my knees, still holding the babies. Please don't do this. I just gave birth. I have nowhere to go. You should have thought about that before you got pregnant with twins, he said. Pack your things. Now. I packed one bag with shaking hands. My clothes, the baby's few outfits, some Pampers. That was all I had in this world. Everything else belonged to Emeka. The rain started while I was packing. Light at first, then heavy. The kind of rain that floods the streets and makes you disappear if you're not careful. Emeka, I tried one. More time. Please, at least let me stay until the rain stops. The babies will get sick. The babies, he repeated mockingly. That's all you care about. Those stupid babies. They're your babies too. No. He walked to the door and opened it. Rain poured in, soaking the floor. They are your curse. Take them and go. His mother and her church women watched me like I was a movie. Entertainment. I wrapped the babies in the only blankets we had and put them inside my wrapper, trying to keep them dry. Then I picked up my bag and walked toward the door. Chi, Emeka said as I passed him. I stopped, hoping he had changed his mind, hoping he would say he was sorry, that this was all a mistake. Don't ever come back here, he said instead. If I see you again, I will beat you. Do you understand? I looked at him one last time. The man I loved, the man I thought I would grow old with, and I felt nothing but hate. You will regret this, I said quietly. Not today, not tomorrow, but one day you will see what you threw away and you will cry blood. He laughed. Is that a threat? What will you do? You are nothing. You have nothing. You and those bad luck babies will die in the gutter where you belong. Then he pushed me out and locked the door. I stood in the rain, my babies crying against my chest. Nowhere to go, no one to call. I was bleeding again. I could feel it soaking through my wrapper. My body was breaking down, but I had to keep moving. I started walking, not knowing where I was going, just walking. The rain was so heavy I could barely see. My slippers were gone, washed away. The bag was too heavy, so I dropped it. All I had left was my babies. That's when I collapsed. I fell right there in the street, on my knees in the flooding water, and I cried. I cried so loud the whole neighborhood probably heard me. But nobody came. In Lagos, people mind their business. A woman crying in the rain, not their problem. God, I screamed into the storm. Why? What did I do to deserve this? What did my babies do? No answer. Just rain and darkness. I don't know how long I stayed there. Minutes? Hours? Time stopped meaning anything. Then I heard it. A car engine, headlights cutting through the rain. A black SUV stopped right in front of me. The door opened and a man in a suit jumped out with an umbrella. "Madam," he shouted over the rain. "Madam, are you okay?" I couldn't speak. I just held my babies and cried. "Sir," The man called back to the car. There's a woman here with babies. She's in trouble. Then another man stepped out of the SUV, tall, wearing an expensive agbada. His face was partly covered by an umbrella, but even through my tears, I could see him clearly. He walked straight to me and bent down. Young woman, what happened? Why are you on the street like this? Please, I managed to say. Help my babies, please. They didn't do anything wrong. He looked at me for a long moment. Then he looked at the babies in my arms. His face changed. Shock, horror, something else I couldn't name. Moses, he said to the man with the umbrella, get the car ready. We're taking her to the hospital. Yes, sir. The tall man picked me up like I weighed nothing. I wanted to protest, but I had no strength left. He carried me to the SUV and placed me gently in the back seat. Someone handed me towels. A woman in the car started drying my babies, her eyes full of tears. Sir, we need to hurry, the woman said. These babies are too cold, and this woman is bleeding. Drive fast, the man ordered. The car moved, smooth and quiet. The kind of car I'd only seen in movies. I tried to speak, to thank them, but my voice was gone. The man was staring at me, not in a creepy way, more like he was trying to solve a puzzle. What's your name? He asked gently. Chiamaka, I whispered. Chiamaka what? Chiamaka Okonkwo. He went very still. Okonkwo, what was your mother's name? Adez Okonkwo, but she died when I was 5. The man made a sound like someone had punched him. Adez, oh God, Adez. Sir, do you know my mother? I asked, confused. He didn't answer. He just kept staring at me, tears running down his face. That's when everything went black. I woke up in the whitest room I'd ever seen. White walls, white sheets, white curtains. For a moment, I thought I had died and gone to heaven. Then I heard crying. My babies. I tried to sit up, but pain shot through my body. A nurse appeared immediately. Madam, please lie down. You're still very weak. My babies, I said frantically. Where are my babies? They're fine. They're in the nursery, safe and warm. You need to rest first. No! Bring them to me, please. The door opened, and the tall man from the SUV walked in, but now I could see him clearly in the light. He was probably in his 60s, with grey hair and kind eyes. He was wearing a simple shirt and trousers, but everything about him screamed money. Behind him was the woman from the car and 2 other people who looked like doctors. Chiamaka, the man said softly. Your babies are safe, I promise you. They're being taken care of by the best nurses in Lagos. Who are you? I asked. Why did you help me? He pulled a chair next to my bed and sat down. His hands were shaking. My name is Chief Obiora Okonkwo, he said. And I think I'm your father. I laughed. It hurt my chest, but I laughed anyway. That's not funny. My father abandoned me and my mother 30 years ago. I didn't abandon you, he said, and he was crying now. Real tears. I didn't even know you existed. What? He pulled out an old photograph from his pocket and handed it to me. It was my mother, young, beautiful, smiling. I loved your mother more than life itself, he said. We were going to get married, but my family said she wasn't good enough because she was poor. They threatened to disown me if I married her. I was young and stupid, so I gave in to the pressure. I broke up with her and married someone else. So you did abandon us, I said bitterly. No, listen to me. He grabbed my hand. 2 months after the wedding, my wife told me she was pregnant. I thought that was it. My life was decided. But Adais, your mother, she disappeared. I looked for her everywhere. Nobody knew where she went. I thought maybe she married someone else and moved on. She was pregnant, I said quietly. She was pregnant with me, and you didn't know. She never told me, and my mother. He stopped, his face full of pain. After I got married, my mother told me that Adaeze was a gold digger, that she took money from our family and left town. I believed her because I was a fool. I was so focused on my new life that I didn't question it. Your mother lied, I said, understanding now. Yes, and I found out the truth only 3 years ago when my mother died. She confessed everything on her deathbed. She told me she paid Adaeze's mother to take her away. She gave her money and threatened to destroy Adaeze if she ever contacted me. She said Adaeze was pregnant, but made the grandmother promise to tell Adaeze that I knew about the pregnancy and didn't want a child. My head was spinning. My grandmother, she knew all this? Your grandmother was protecting your mother. She took the money, moved to Enugu, and raised you both. But she never told you the truth because she thought it would hurt you more. It did hurt me, I said, tears streaming down my face. I grew up thinking my father didn't want me, that I wasn't good enough. I'm so sorry, he whispered. When my mother told me the truth, I tried to find you. But your mother had died and nobody knew where you were. I've been searching for 3 years, Chiamaka. 3 years of private investigators and dead ends. Then how did you find me tonight? He smiled through his tears. I didn't find you. God brought you to me. I was coming back from a business meeting when we saw you in the street. When you told me your name, when you said your mother was Adaeze Okonkwo, I knew. I just knew. The woman who had been standing quietly in the corner spoke up. Sir, should we tell her the rest? Chief Obiora nodded. Chiamaka, I need you to understand something. I'm not just any man. I own Okonkwo Industries. We manufacture and distribute pharmaceuticals all over West Africa. I'm worth over 50 billion naira. I couldn't process this. It was too much. And I have no heir? He continued. My wife and I, we had no children. She died 5 years ago. All this time I've been alone, running a business empire with nobody to pass it to. But now, he grabbed both my hands. Now I have you. I have my daughter, and I have 2 grandsons. This can't be real, I said. This is too much. I'm nobody. I'm just a market woman who got thrown out by her husband. You are my daughter, he said firmly. You are Chief Obiora Okonkwo's daughter, and those babies are Okonkwo heirs. Everything I have belongs to you now. I started crying again, but this time it wasn't from pain or sadness. It was from shock, relief, hope. Can I see my babies now? I asked. He smiled. Of course. But first you need to eat something and get stronger. The doctor says you lost a lot of blood. You need to rest for a few days. A few days? Where am I? You're in my private wing at Evercare Hospital, the best hospital in Lagos. You and your babies will stay here until you're completely healthy. Then you'll come home with me. Home? Yes, you're home in Ikoyi with me. 3 weeks passed like a dream I was afraid to wake up from. Chief Obiora, Daddy, he insisted I call him, was true to his word. He set me up in a massive bedroom in his Ikoyi mansion. The room was bigger than the entire house I grew up in. It had its own bathroom with a bathtub, a balcony overlooking a garden, and a nursery attached for my babies. He hired 2 nannies to help me with the twins. At first, I refused. I wanted to take care of my babies myself, but Daddy was smart. Chi, he said gently, you're still recovering. Let these women help you so you can be strong for your sons. A strong mother is better than an exhausted one. He was right. With help, I could finally sleep, eat properly, and heal. The babies were thriving. They had gained weight, their skin was glowing, and they cried less because they were always warm and fed. I named them Chimdi and Chukwudi. God is good and God exists, because how else do you explain what happened to us? Daddy showered us with everything: clothes, toys, formula, diapers, things I couldn't even name. But more than that, he gave us love. Real love. Every morning he would come to the nursery before work and hold the babies. He would talk to them in Igbo, telling them stories about their grandmother, my mother, and how much he wished he could have known them sooner. These boys are special, he said one morning. I can feel it. They survived something terrible at such a young age. They're fighters. Just like their mother, I said quietly. He looked at me with such pride it made my chest hurt. Yes, just like their mother. But I couldn't fully enjoy this new life, because every night I would wake up in a cold sweat, remembering Emeka's face when he pushed me out into the rain, remembering his mother's smile, the church women watching like vultures. Daddy noticed. Chi, what's bothering you? He asked one evening. We were having dinner together, just the two of us. The twins were asleep upstairs. Nothing, Daddy. Don't lie to me. I see it in your eyes. You're carrying something heavy. Talk to me. So I told him everything. About Emeka, about the marriage, about how he threw us out because the twins were bad luck, about his mother and her church women. By the time I finished, Daddy's face was hard as stone. That boy, he said quietly. That foolish, wicked boy. He threw away gold and called it trash. I don't want revenge, I said quickly. I just want to move on. I just want to focus on my babies and forget he ever existed. Chi. Daddy looked at me seriously. I understand you want to move on, but that man needs to know what he did. He needs to see what he threw away, not for revenge, for justice. What do you mean? He smiled, but it wasn't a kind smile. Leave it to me. Just focus on healing and taking care of my grandsons. Let me handle the rest. I should have asked more questions, but I was tired, and I trusted him. 2 months later, Daddy called a board meeting. He invited me to come with him to Okonkwo Industries headquarters in Victoria Island. Why? I asked nervously. I don't know anything about business. You don't need to know about business yet, he said. You just need to be there. Trust me. So I dressed in one of the elegant outfits his stylist had bought for me, a beautiful blue Ankara dress and matching jewel, and followed him to the company. The building was huge, glass and steel, 20 floors high. Everyone who saw Daddy bowed slightly and greeted him with respect. And when they saw me next to him, they looked confused but polite. We walked into a massive conference room full of men and women in suits. They all stood when Daddy entered. Good morning, Chief, they said in unison. Sit down, Daddy ordered. Then he pulled out a chair for me next to his at the head of the table. Everyone was staring at me, whispering, Who is she? Is that his new wife? She looks too young to be his wife. Daddy cleared his throat, and the room went silent. Thank you all for coming, he began. I called this meeting because I have an important announcement to make. An announcement that will change the future of this company. He paused for effect. For many years, you all have wondered what would happen to Okonkwo Industries after I'm gone. I have no children, no heir. Some of you probably thought you might be in line for a promotion. Some of you probably hoped to buy shares and take over. Nervous laughter filled the room. Well, I'm here to tell you that none of that will happen. He placed his hand on my shoulder, because I do have an heir. I have a daughter. The room exploded. What? A daughter? How is this possible? Daddy raised his hand and they quieted down. This is Chiamaka Okonkwo, my biological daughter. I recently discovered her after years of searching. She is my blood, and she is the rightful heir to everything I've built. One of the board members, a fat man with a big belly, stood up. Chief, with all due respect, how do we know she's really your daughter? How do we know this isn't some scam? DNA test, Daddy said calmly. He pulled out a document and threw it on the table. 99.9% match. She is my daughter. And before you ask, yes, I've already changed my will. Yes, I've already spoken to my lawyers. Chiamaka Okonkwo is now the primary shareholder of this company. When I die, everything goes to her and her sons. Her sons? Another board member asked. Yes, my grandsons. Twin boys, 2 months old. The next generation of Okonkwo heirs. The room was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. Now, Daddy continued, I'm not retiring yet. I will still run this company for at least another 10 years, God willing. But I want everyone to understand the new order of things. Chiamaka will be learning the business. She will sit in on meetings. She will understand every aspect of this company. And when I'm gone, she will be your boss. Treat her with respect. Treat her like family, because she is family. He looked around the room. Any questions? Nobody spoke. Good. Meeting dismissed. As everyone filed out, I could feel their eyes on me. Some looked angry, some looked jealous, some looked scared, but I didn't care. Because for the first time in my life, I felt powerful. 3 months passed. I was learning the business slowly, going to the office twice a week, sitting in meetings, listening to Daddy explain everything. It was hard, but I was determined. The twins were growing fast. They were laughing now, grabbing things, recognizing my face. Every day with them was a blessing. I had almost forgotten about Emeka. Almost. Then one afternoon, Daddy came home with a strange smile on his face. Chi, get dressed. We're going out. Where? You'll see. We drove to a construction site in Lekki. There were cranes, cement trucks, workers everywhere. In the middle of it all was a small office building. What are we doing here? I asked. I'm building a new warehouse and distribution center for the company, Daddy explained. I hired a contracting company to manage the construction. Today, I'm meeting with the site supervisor to check progress. We walked into the office building. Inside, there were several men in hard hats looking at blueprints, and standing in the corner, wearing a dirty work uniform, was Emeka. My heart stopped. He looked terrible, thin, tired. His face was hollow, like he hadn't eaten well in months. When he saw me, his eyes went wide. Then he saw Daddy next to me, and his face went pale. Chief Okonkwo, the site supervisor, said, rushing over, Welcome, sir. We're making good progress on the project. Good, good, Daddy said casually. But first, I want to meet all your workers. I like to know who's building my facilities. The supervisor looked confused, but nodded. Of course, sir. Gentlemen, line up. All the workers lined up, including Emeka. He was shaking. Daddy walked down the line slowly, greeting each worker. When he got to Emeka, he stopped. What's your name? Daddy asked. Emeka, sir. Emeka Nwosu. Emeka Nwosu, Daddy repeated. How long have you been working here? 2 months, sir. And before that? I was unemployed, sir. Unemployed? Daddy nodded. That's tough. Do you have a family? Emeka couldn't look at me. I had a wife, sir, but we separated. Separated? Why? It's complicated, sir. I see. Daddy turned to the supervisor. This man, Emeka Nwosu, what does he do here? He's a general laborer, sir. Carries cement bags, cleans the site, that kind of thing. How much do you pay him? 30,000 naira a month, sir. Daddy laughed. 30,000. For a grown man with responsibilities? That's slavery. The supervisor looked nervous. Sir, that's the standard rate for laborers. Fire him, Daddy said casually. What? The supervisor and Emeka said at the same time. I said fire him. I don't want him working on my project anymore. Emeka fell to his knees. Please, sir. Please, I need this job. I'm sorry if I did something wrong. Please, I'm begging you. Did you do something wrong? Daddy asked innocently. I don't know, did you? Emeka was crying now. Sir, I don't understand. Please, just tell me what. I did wrong. That's when I spoke. You threw your wife and newborn twins out into the rain because you thought they were bad luck. Emeka looked up at me. Really looked at me for the first time. Recognition, horror, understanding. Chi? He whispered. Chi, is that you? I smiled, but it wasn't a kind smile. Yes, Emeka, it's me. The woman you called useless. The woman you said would die in the gutter with her bad luck babies. Oh God, he was shaking. Chi, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I was stupid. I was listening to my mother. Please forgive me. Where is your mother? I asked. She died 2 months ago. Stroke. I felt nothing. No sadness, no pity, nothing. And you? I continued. How has life treated you since you threw us out? Terrible, he admitted. I couldn't find work. Nobody would hire me. My friends abandoned me. I've been living in a single room in Ajigunle, sir, barely surviving. I thought if I could just get this job, I could start over. Start over, I repeated. You want to start over while my sons and I are just supposed to forget what you did? Chi, please. He reached for my legs, but Daddy pulled me back. Don't touch her, Daddy said coldly. You lost the right to touch her the day you threw her out. Sir, please. Who are you? Why are you doing this? I'm Chief Obiora Okonkwo, Daddy said. Owner of Okonkwo Industries. And this woman you threw away like garbage? She's my daughter, the heir to my empire. Emeka looked like someone had poured ice water on him. Your daughter? But she said her father abandoned her. I didn't abandon her. I didn't even know she existed. But now I do. And those twins you called bad luck? They're my grandsons. They live in a mansion in Ikoyi. They have nannies, drivers, security. They will never lack anything for the rest of their lives. They are Okonkwo heirs. Emeka started sobbing, full body shaking sobs. Chi, please, I made a mistake. I was foolish. Please give me another chance. Let me see my sons. Please. They're not your sons, I said simply. You gave up that right. You're just a sperm donor, nothing more. Please, I turned to walk away, then stopped. Actually, Daddy, don't fire him. Everyone looked at me in surprise. Don't fire him, Daddy asked. No, Let him keep his job. Let him carry cement bags for 30,000 naira a month. Let him wake up every day and know that the woman he threw out is now worth billions. Let him know that the twins he called bad luck are living in luxury while he suffers. That's better than firing him. That's real karma. Daddy smiled. My daughter is wise. Fine. Emeka Nwosu, you can keep your job. But know this, you will never rise above where you are now. You will carry cement until your back breaks. And every time you see my company name on a building, on a truck, in an advertisement, you will remember what you lost. We walked out, leaving Emeka on his knees, crying. In the car, I felt something release in my chest, something I'd been carrying for months. How do you feel? Daddy asked. I feel free, I said honestly. I don't hate him anymore. I just feel free. Good. That's what I wanted for you. Closure. Now you can truly move forward. Today is my 30th birthday. I'm standing on the balcony of my own penthouse apartment in Victoria Island, watching the sunrise over Lagos. Chimdi and Chukwudi are 5 years old now. They're in their room getting dressed for school. Yes, school. British International School. The same school where presidents' children go. My babies speak English and Igbo fluently. They can read and write. They know their numbers. They are smart, healthy, and happy. Last year, Daddy made me CEO of Okonkwo Industries. At 29, I became one of the youngest CEOs in Nigeria. People whispered. They said I didn't deserve it, that I only got it because I'm his daughter. They're right. I did get it because I'm his daughter. But I've also earned it. I've spent 5 years learning every aspect of this business. I've made deals. I've fired corrupt managers. I've increased profits by 40%. I'm not the scared girl who got thrown out in the rain anymore. I'm a businesswoman, a mother, a boss. My phone rings. It's Daddy. Happy birthday, my dear. Thank you, Daddy. I have a surprise for you. Come to the house this evening. I'm throwing you a party. Daddy, you don't have to. Nonsense. You're 30. That's a milestone. Besides, I want to show off my daughter and grandsons to all my friends. I laugh. Okay, we'll be there. After I hang up, my assistant calls. Ma, there's a man here at reception. He says he needs to see you. His name is Emeka Nwosu. My hand tightens on the phone. Tell him I'm not available. He says it's urgent. He says it's about your sons. Tell him if he doesn't leave in 2 minutes, I'll call security. Yes, ma. This isn't the first time Emeka has tried to contact me. In the past 5 years, he's sent letters, tried to call, shown up at the office, always with the same message. He's sorry. He wants to see his sons. He wants another chance. The answer is always the same. No. Some people don't deserve second chances. Some people need to live with the consequences of their actions. That evening, Daddy's party is exactly what I expected. Over 200 guests, governors, business tycoons, celebrities, everyone who's anyone in Lagos. I walk in wearing a gold dress that costs more than Emeka probably makes in a year. My babies are in matching white agbada, looking like little princes. Everyone stops to stare, to greet me, to tell me happy birthday and congratulate me on my success. In the middle of the party, Daddy makes a speech. 5 years ago, he begins. I found my daughter in the rain. She was broken, bleeding, thrown away by a man who didn't see her value. But I saw it. I saw her strength, her courage, her heart. He looks at me with tears in his eyes. Today, she's not just my daughter. She's the CEO of a multi-billion naira company. She's a mother to 2 brilliant boys who will change this country someday. She's everything I hoped for and more. Everyone applauds. But most importantly, Daddy continues. She taught me that karma is real, that God sees everything, that people who do wicked things will always face consequences, and people who suffer with grace will always be rewarded. He raises his glass. To Chiamaka, my daughter, my heir, my pride. To Chiamaka, everyone shouts. I smile, holding my babies close. Later that night, after the party, I'm putting the twins to bed when Chukwudi asks me a question. Mommy, why don't we have a daddy? My heart stops. What? All my friends at school have daddies. Why don't we? Chimdi joins in. Did our daddy die? I sit on the bed between them. No, sweetheart, your daddy didn't die. He's alive. So where is he? Chukwudi asks innocently. He's somewhere else. He's not part of our family anymore. Why not? How do you explain abandonment to 5-year-olds? Because some people make mistakes, I say carefully. Big mistakes. And sometimes those mistakes mean they can't be in your life anymore. Did he make a mistake with us? Chimdi asks. Yes, baby, he did. Was it a big mistake? The biggest? They think about this for a moment. Then Chukwudi says, That's okay, mommy. We have you and Grandpa. That's enough. Chimdi nods. Yeah, we don't need a daddy. We have you. Tears run down my face, but I'm smiling. That's right, babies. You have me. And I will never, ever leave you, no matter what. I tuck them in and kiss their foreheads. Then I go back to my room and look at myself in the mirror. The woman staring back at me is strong, successful, confident, but she's also kind, loving, grateful. Because revenge didn't heal me. Success didn't heal me. Money didn't heal me. What healed me was knowing that I survived. That I took the worst moments of my life and turned it into the beginning of my best life. Emeka thought throwing us out would solve his problems. Instead, he threw away a fortune and condemned himself to a life of regret. That's karma. That's justice. And as I stand here in my penthouse, looking at my sleeping sons, knowing that tomorrow I'll wake up and run a billion naira company, I can honestly say, I forgive him. Not because he deserves forgiveness, but because I deserve peace. And peace, I've learned, is the best revenge of all.